A S M R 101. In today's lesson, I will be teaching you and you and you and you and you and you and you interesting facts about the South African education system, because it is very much different from the education systems used in many other countries. So, as I'm teaching you, I will be, writing or taking notes right here on the board. Is that alright? Make sure you listen attentively. Pay attention, okay? This class is with 99.9999999% of your grade. You don't listen, you don't fall asleep. But if you listen, you'll fall asleep and even get tingles. So, listen, okay? Which color would you like me to start with? You know what? We will use all of them. Let's start with this one. There are 4 things that are mainly different in the South African education system. And the first one is uniform. That's UNIFORM. Uniform. South African schools use school uniforms. It's very rare that you find a school where kids wear clothes when they go to school, okay? The reason for that is because most people in Africa are poor. So parents can't afford to really buy clothes for their children, and a lot of children like focusing on outfits, and they make fun of each other. So if you find a child wearing a uniform, at times they will all look the same, right? Because they are all wearing uniform. But pay attention to this part. If they wear clothes, the ones who can't afford clothing, coming from poor families, they will wear like clothes with holes in them, like dirty clothes. So other kids are most likely to make fun of them. To avoid that, to make sure everyone is all equal, no one judges one another, they then make sure that all the kids are the same, wearing school uniforms. There are like days whereby it's casual day or talent show or cultural day. At school, on cultural day, you have to wear cultural outfits, but it's just one day within a year. Did you get that? Did you get that? Just one day of the year. They wear cultural clothes. The kids wear cultural clothes at school. And on casual day, that's when they can wear clothes. They can wear clothes, but it's like just like once or twice a year. It's not a lot of days. And on that day, kids normally judge each other on their outfits and all that. And we also have funny day at school. Funny day, let me just draw a clown. Like there's the eyes, the lips. Let's make the red nose. Let's make the red clown nose. So on this day, funny day, they wear funny outfits, and sabi nga ba, di bale na nga ba, on funny day you wear funny outfits on funny day, funny outfits. And then on funny days, normally more like a talent show where you do sketches and whatnot. You dress up in whatever character that you want, or in a funny character. Sometimes it could be a serious character, like maybe like dressed like your mother or a grandma or something like that. And you do sketches and dance and all that. Let's move on to the second thing that happens at school. Which color should we use? I will now be talking about classes and learning, so it's only fair for me to use a red pen. But this kind of looks pinkish. It's not really a red pen. I don't have a red pen, so this will do. Okay. Second fact. Fact number 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Fact number 2. Classes. See, In primary school, kids learn 3 languages. 1, 2, 3 languages. The first language should be your home language. Home language. The second language should be English. You learn English. The third language is Afrikaans. Afrikaans. So, for example, if you are from the Eastern Cape, you learn Xhosa. That's X H O S A. Xhosa. English and Afrikaans. But you should note this. Listen very carefully. If you're from KwaZulu Natal, you learn Zulu. That's Z U L U. Zulu. Depending on where you are, which other province? Limpopo. If you're from Limpopo, you learn Venda. That's V E N D A. Venda. English and Afrikaans. I'm just making examples for you. Do you see these examples I have for you right here on the board? I wrote you like one language, which is your home language. Second language, which is English. Okay, write this down. Listen, write this down. And then the third one should be Afrikaans. Okay, Afrikaans. So you learn these 3 languages. They are compulsory in primary school. After you're done with the primary school, you go to middle school and then high school. In high school, that's where you have freedom to choose. Freedom to choose 2 languages. Like freedom, FREEDOM, to choose 2 languages. But the first language is now English. English, I underline it, should be done by everyone. You don't get to choose. In high school, everybody has to do English. Now you have to choose between your home language and Afrikaans. You get to choose between your home language and Afrikaans. But you know this, okay? Hey, hi, listen carefully. You have to note this. If you go to a private school to hear music, the students in Xhosa 602 are making noise. I think they're having graduation in Xhosa 602, and now they're making noise because they're done with their classes. Let's wait for their party to be over, or for them to, I think it's their last day of school maybe. Let's wait for them to leave. I think they left. Hopefully they won't come back don't get to choose in most private schools. They make English and Afrikaans compulsory to everyone, compulsory. So let's just erase your home language. You can't do that. You can't do that in private school. You can't do that. Let's just erase it. Not all private schools though, but really good private schools, you can't choose. You have to do Afrikaans. You take English as a home language, and then you take Afrikaans as a first additional language. Okay, you have to take it as a first additional language, and you can't do your home language. And in public schools, a lot of public schools, you do English, okay, compulsory. Like I said, English is compulsory, and then you do your home language. Your home language, they don't offer Afrikaans at all, so you can't choose Afrikaans even if you want to, because public high schools don't normally provide Afrikaans. Okay. Hi, hey, you over there? Are you listening? Did you get what I said about the two languages? You got that right? Okay, great, perfect. So you do two languages in high school. Some private schools and some high schools let you decide. If you want Afrikaans, you can take Afrikaans, but if you want your home language, you can take your home language, but you can't choose Afrikaans in your home language. You can only choose your home language or Afrikaans with English. And if you come from a white family, or if you come from an Afrikaans speaking family, you take Afrikaans, okay? You take Afrikaans because your home language is Afrikaans. So a lot of white people and a lot of people come from Afrikaans speaking families. They already have the choice to choose between Afrikaans and English. But in most schools, when you're in primary and you are white, they take two languages. Even in primary school, they take two languages. They don't get to choose other languages like isiXhosa, isiZulu, isiVenda, isiPedi, isiTsonga, isiSwati, isiNdebele. They only choose English and Afrikaans, okay? So if you already come from an Afrikaans speaking family, like you are white or you are mixed, then in that case it's Afrikaans and English. Even in primary, you don't get to do three languages. I hope you guys understand it. We are now done with classes in terms of languages. Back when I was in school, you had to do HSS, which is Human Social Sciences. In primary, everyone does that. And you also had to do EMS, which is Economic Management Sciences. And you had to do technology. And you had to do natural science. And you had to do arts and culture. And you had to do feel like this is something that I'm forgetting. What am I forgetting? I'm definitely forgetting others. I'm sorry, okay? Oh, you had to do life orientation. Life orientation, everybody, all the schools do that. And when you are in grade 9, you have to write this exam. All the schools get the exact same question paper set by the Department of Education in South Africa. So the schools have this exact same question paper. The teachers nor the students don't get to see the question paper beforehand. I'm sorry about the noise outside. I think the 601 students are once again excited. They're coming back to fetch their textbooks, knowing that the second semester is starting real quick. So let's forget about them and focus on this, right? Before the grade 9 exam, grade 9 is in middle school, right? Grade 9. In other schools, they say it's high school, but grade 9, in some schools, that's when you are doing your last class of middle school, and then you're going to high school. So you write the exact same question paper as all the other schools in South Africa, okay? Private school, public school, they all write the same question paper to make sure that the education standard is all equal and the same, and people who graduate and pass the exam get to move on to high school, right? So they write something that is called a CTA. It's called a CTA. It's an exam. So for all the subjects, the Department of Education transports the question papers to all the schools. So early in the morning, that's when you get to see the question paper. The teachers are seeing the question papers, the students are seeing the question paper for the first time, so that nobody cheats or anything like that. And then you write them, and if you pass, you get on to move on to grade 10. Okay? But before the exam, of course, you get trials, whereby they send you a trial question paper where you get to see how the questioning is like before you write the final exams, right? You first write the trials in September, then in December, in November or something like that, that's when you get to write the actual exams. Okay, maybe the trials are in June, and then the actual exams are in November. But you firstly get trials, and after you're done, you passed. Tick. Let me just mark here. Tick. You get to write the finals. After the trials. Even if you fail the trials, you can still write the finals, right? Miracles can happen, and if you pass the finals, then you get to move on to grade 10, and up until you're in grade 12, which is the final year of high school, grade 12. Which color should I use for grade 12? Let's use this blue one. Interesting things happen in grade 12 because you don't even get a report card. No report cards in grade 12. I know. I'm going to explain. So when you move on to grade 12, in grade 12, let's start with what other countries call prom. Yes, we do have prom, but we don't call it prom. We call it metric dance. That's MATRIC. Metric dance. And you can go to the metric dance with your date and have fun and wear your nice dresses and suits in a nice fancy hotel or destination where it's being held. Then have fun and then start dancing. dancing. You start dancing and have fun. And immediately after the metric dance, the final exams are here. You write the final exams. What's interesting is that once again, like the CTAs, all the schools write the same question paper. It doesn't matter whether it's a private school or a public school, whether it's in a village or in the highest suburb area. A kid in suburb and a kid in the deep village all write the same question paper because they're doing the same grade. So my gosh, what is happening with the learners in class 601 Xhosa? They are having the time of their life. Oh my goodness, the second semester is gonna start. I will make sure they suffer on the second semester because they're disturbing my class, and this is not allowed. This is not allowed. We can't take this, but let's just wait. Hopefully you don't hear the noise, but this microphone picks up everything. I bet you can hear it. But anyway, we're gonna carry on. Let's just wait a bit, okay? Because I hate cropping my videos, and I'm even checking the mic if it still has enough power in it. So, as I was saying, class, whether you're from the village or the privatest private school of all, you all write the same question paper. So, what happens is that after you're done with your exams, report cards normally come out in the last week of November or the first week of December. But if you're in metric, which is high school, the last year of high school, you don't get report cards anymore. That's because the question papers were set by the Department of Education in South Africa, so everybody has to write the same SAME, the same question paper. And after that, the question papers, they arrive in the morning. Nobody sees them beforehand to make sure that everything is fair and all. And after that, you write your exams, right? The people from the Department of Education, immediately after you're done with their exam, they take the papers, your answer sheets, okay? They collect the answer sheets. When you're writing, you write your student number, and you just write your student number, right? Make sure that your student number is there before you submit your paper. Make sure that the student number is there. They give you answer sheets. The front page of the answer sheet, you have to fill in your details, student number there, make sure that everything is correct, and then you submit your answer sheet. After you're done submitting your answer sheet, the people from the Department of Education immediately take the answer sheets, making sure that nobody cheats and, continues writing and whatnot. They take it, and if you are sick, that means you don't get to write the exam, because the following day there aren't people from the department to actually collect the papers, because the papers have to go back to the Department of Education. Yes, your answer sheets go back to the Department of Education, right? And as they go back to the Department of Education, if you don't make it, unfortunately, you have to write a supplementary exam if you have a valid enough reason for why you did not make it, which in this case is normally sickness. If not, you have to repeat the same grade. So you write your exams, and then the papers go to the Department of Education. When they get there, there's a lot of kids, from different schools, all over South Africa doing matric. So it's a lot of question papers. So there are people who are teachers, have to apply to mark papers at the Department of Education. And even if you are a normal citizen like me, you just send an application form and state your qualifications, and you say you want to be a marker of the papers. So all the people who applied and got accepted, and all the teachers who also want to mark the papers and applied, they fly, or they are given transport to go to the Department of Education to go and mark papers over there. No, they don't send papers to you. You have to go mark papers from there. So they give you an office. Then you sit in your office. They give you papers, random papers, not papers from your school or people that you know. So random papers, and the papers have the student number, so you don't know whose paper you're marking. The Department of Education system knows who is who. So when they punch in a student number, they know who you are. So you mark the papers, and then they record the results. And after that, in January, kids in primary school, middle school, and high school get to go back to school. But if you're doing matric, it's time to go to varsity, right? Time to go to varsity. But you have to wait. Up until January. You spend Christmas and you spend the New Year, 1st of January, not knowing whether you made it or not. Then around the second week or something like that, the results are now out. The teachers and people who applied are now done with marking, and the results are recorded. They know whether you passed or you failed. So to make things easier, everything is already in their computer system, right? They just take that information and print it out on a newspaper. So what you normally do is that at midnight you go and buy a newspaper. The newspaper has all the schools in South Africa in alphabetical order, starting from A, B, C, D, E, dot, up until Z. Okay? In alphabetical order. The schools are listed in alphabetical order. So you have to buy a newspaper. Let's say you go to Sizanani Primary School. I don't know if there's a school like that. I'm just making an example. So you buy the newspaper. You move from B, Q, R, S. You move from SA, SB, SC. It just works the same way as a dictionary up until you get to Sizanati High School. And then you look for your student number. If your student number appears on the newspaper, that means you passed. Good, you passed. But if your student number does not appear on the newspaper, unfortunately, you didn't make it. You failed. For everyone who did pass, there are different grades of passing, right? You know that you have A plus, A minus, a B plus, B minus, and so on. Like you have an F, a D minus, a D plus. So for those who pass, there's a grading system as well. Next to your student number, they put brackets. and then they put all the classes which you graduated with distinction. Okay, distinction. Which are the classes you got more than 80% in. If you get 80% or more, they put those classes next to your name. Let's say you got 85% in physical science, so they will write next to your name PHY. And you got 90% in mathematics, they will write MTH. You get what I'm saying? Right next to your name. And you can only take 7 classes, like a minimum of 7 classes in high school. So if they write 7 brackets, that means you got distinctions in everything. If they write 1 class, that means you got a distinction in 1 class. But if there's no brackets, that means you didn't get distinction, but you still did pass though. But wait, there's more. Right before your student number and before the brackets, before your name and your student number, because everyone is in a line, next student. If they write you, they have to know how well you pass. Like I said, there's an A minus, B plus, C plus. So if they write B next to your name, they write B, and then they write your student number, and then they write the brackets if you have them, and then they don't write them if you don't. So if they write B right next to your name, that's what you want. There's no A. They write B. That B stands for you qualify for a bachelor's degree when you go to university. Okay, that's what you want. You want to qualify for a bachelor's degree, because that's the best form of degree that you can get in university, like when you're going in. And of course you can graduate with honors, but still it's a bachelor's degree, right? And then after that, after the B, which is the first rank, we have the second rank, which is a D. A D does not stand that it doesn't mean that you got an A, B, C, D. It does not mean that. The D stands for you qualify for a diploma when you go to varsity. Yes, you can go to varsity, but under no circumstances can you study for a bachelor's degree. You need to do a diploma. Okay, you qualify for a diploma. And then after that, there is H. What does H stand for? Does it stand for higher education? You can go for higher education, but H means that you cannot go to university. You don't qualify for university. But yes, you did pass, but you can't go to university. That means you go to a college, not a university. In other countries, call it a community college. You qualify for community college, not college. But in South Africa, you qualify for college, not university, because we call community college we don't call university college. University we call university. So you qualify for a diploma, and then your high school leaving, that means you qualify to go to a college. You can't go to university, you don't qualify. And then there's S. Oh, you don't want to get S. Trust me, you don't want to get S. Yes, you did pass, but you passed poorly. You didn't do great at all. Like, you didn't do great. That S stands for school leaving, which means yes, you did pass. You did pass to qualify to get a high school diploma or a high school certificate, but that certificate does not qualify you to really go to university or anything like that. So people who normally get S go to like finishing schools to improve their grades, whereby they look at the grades they performed poorly in and repeat those for a year, so that they could be replaced in their certificates so that their certificate could go up to a D or go up to a B or something like that. So I hope you get what I mean. So that's what's interesting. And what's even more interesting is that before they put in your student number, they would put in your actual name. So there would be a B, and then African Xhosa, and then bracket, all the distinctions that you have with your name. So what would happen is that people around the area, they know who you are and they know which school you go to. So they would go buy a newspaper and look for your name, because your name is there. They look for your name under your school, and if they find out that you're not there, they can laugh at you and, you know, do a whole lot of things, because the entire country can know whether you've passed or not. So after they did this for years. They recently stopped and put in student numbers, but a lot of high school kids who did not make it, or did not make it in a way they wanted, would actually take their own lives. So because they are humiliated that everyone in their community knows whether they made it or didn't, so people would laugh at them, so they'd end up, you know, taking their own lives or attempting to take their own lives. So you know, the education system or departments decided to, you know what, instead of using the actual names of the people, we should just start using their student numbers, because you can know me, my name and my surname, because you're from my community, but there's no way you know my student number. You know what I mean? Because you're given that student number when it's close to exam time. You don't use it throughout high school. You don't need student numbers. So you get that student number when you know last year of high school and when you're about to write your exams, so that you can use it for the exams. So nobody really knows about it unless you want them to know about it, or maybe they're nosy. So that way people don't get in other people's businesses. And I think they started doing that in 2014 or 13 or 15. I'm not sure, but it's not long ago. But before that, your name was put there and you had to, you know, and it was pretty sad. So that is it, class. That is it. I hope you learned a lot from today's video about the South African education system. Oh my gosh, let me put back the glasses. Yeah, I will see you again in Xhosa 101. I'll see you next time. Did I say it was Xhosa 101? It's Xhosa ASMR 101. I will see you next time. Make sure that you come early in our next lesson, because I will make sure that I lock the door and nobody enters if they're late. Okay, I'm a very serious teacher and I take this education very seriously. So should you. You can't be sleeping in your room. You have to show up to class. Okay, don't be late next time. Is that all right? Is that okay? Okay, great. You can go now. We're done with today's lesson. Goodbye.